Good day, everyone. I'm Robin Shermingham of the Olderhood Group, and my guests today are Olderhood CEO Bill Story and Ross Swan, who's joining us live from Singapore. This is part two of our discussion about soul leadership, and today we're chatting about how do you as a leader begin to introduce soul leadership into your daily operations in a positive way. Ross, I know you have an awful lot to say on this subject.
Well, that's true. It's my passion, Robin. How do you bring it in? There's a couple of ways you can bring it in. First of all, it's just taking time for yourself. I think I mentioned in the previous podcast, you're running around your headspace. In other words, you're thinking, your brain's going all the time. You just got to stop and take some time to reflect. And the best way to reflect is go within yourself. I mean, you're not physically putting your head up your navel or anything, but your physic just chilling out and a bit of meditation, just slowly. And there's even one where you can hold your little finger, and actually that connects and does relax you.
Well, that's an interesting tip.
So,
you can do that in a heated business.
I got to get my little finger. I think it was a little finger. I can't remember now, but it is my little finger. I'm pretty certain it's my little finger. But yeah, it's like that. It's something because with the nerve endings, it tends to slow you down a bit. But just sit back, take a few deep breaths, and just try to relax and think some nice place like sitting on the beach in Bermuda, or just being in a happy place or whatever it is, and just let yourself sink down. And that, to me, recharges you, but also connects with your inner self. And you can still lead by doing that. You don't just bounce out and go, okay, right, I'm ready to rock and roll and get in my head again and start barking orders. It takes a bit more to get back in. It's like, I guess, going to a nice relaxing massage for a couple of hours. It takes me a bit of a while to get back up mentally because you're so chilled. Well, the key is just to relax a bit.
So this is going to put you into the, thinking clearly, taking positive steps as opposed to simply just reacting then.
And that's right. You hit it on the head there, because look, a lot of the good leaders I've worked with will tell you, in order to get some of the visionary work and some of their creativity, they have to stop and relax. Their creativity comes from within. It does not come from the top of your skull, right? It's the right side of your brain, but it also has a lot of depth to it. It might be coming from ideas from your left side of the brain, but it's coming from that right side.
Let me ask you perhaps a sort of a leading question, because we talk about leadership and we talk about better leadership. Okay? I sometimes think that we read on posts on social media and all this kind of thing. We talk about, becoming a better leader, etc., etc. But I guess my question is a very simple question. Leaving aside the technical aspects of your job, leaving aside the technical aspects of, your leadership, you hold meetings and whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Leaving all of that to the side, my question is, can we become better leaders? Is it possible? Or is it something that, until we understand how we bring that passion and that soul, to use your word, until we bring that in, we're going to struggle? How do we become a better leader?
And leaders are made, they're not born. I mean, if you can be born with certain, I guess, with parents who certainly have a more positive outlook on life and teach you better leadership qualities. But at the end of the day, leaders are made. And if you really want to become a good leader, really, and that's deep down believing you want to become a good leader, and have the discipline to do it, which is the key words, have the discipline to do it, then you can. Now, you may not be as brilliant as the person next door or the person behind you, but you'll be a pretty good leader, right?
Does that mean, I mean, we talk about, people rise to as far up as they can go mentally, intellectually, and so on and so forth, and then they just sort of flatten out. But the business world, and I think this is regrettable, but the business world, through longevity with the company, etc., the business world still pushes people further up
Yep.
the ladder. And all of a sudden, they get halfway up the ladder and they're probably maxed out. But then
Yeah, and that's
further up, and
agreed.
then they're out of their depth.
And that happens. And look, there's a couple of companies I work with now who now are running with two streams. One is a leadership stream, one's a technical. So you can be paid the same pay grade purely as a subject matter expert to the leader, because they're recognising the two don't necessarily go together. Some do, but a lot don't. Because it's just about the ability and the discipline to be a leader, as I was saying. And one of those disciplines is being comfortable with the ambiguity of people. People are ambiguous. They're not black and white. They are grey. And until you accept that, then you'll never become a good leader. And I've coached people who just can't accept it.
That's
then
a wonderful
bow out.
observation. I completely agree with you. I've worked with corporations where they have tried to really put everybody into the same box and really not understood what disastrous consequences arise.
Yeah. And that's right. And that's that having a feel for people and understanding and connecting with their purposes and passions that they love doing. Then you unleash a beast in a way, because they really want to express themselves and put energy into their work.
Yeah.
But you need to feel that, right? Because some people don't even know they've got that. So asking them doesn't always get it. You just get a bit of a sense that I'm going to lead these people and grow these people. If you grow your people, grow your business, which is often said now. You just got to keep pumping their tires up. It's like, to me, you're an oil can. A leader's an oil can. You go in, you oil the squeaky wheel and get the wheel turn. That's all the employee. All you're doing is pulling the squeak, right? Put in the right direction, squeaking it when there's a problem.
Yeah, I remember years ago I was with a company. I was in the finance department, and we had a chief accountant and we had a chief financial officer. And the chief accountant was absolutely brilliant at his job. I mean, brilliant, okay? But his leadership skills were somewhere between 0 and zilch. I mean, they were horrible. And I remember one day the CFO came to me, and I was quite a bit older, but he came to me and he said, why, he said, I'm going to be leaving. He was retiring. He said, why don't you apply for the CFO position? I said, I'm not applying for the CFO position. I said, that's his job. He said, oh, God. He said, I hope not. He said, he has no leadership skills whatsoever. He said, you're kind of like a people person. I said, yeah, I might be a people person, but I'm not as clever as he is when it comes to financial stuff.
And I
think that double stream thing, I think you're absolutely correct with that. There's sometimes, I mean, I knew I would be out my depth. I just knew that. And I think I was sensible enough to recognise that. So I think that's one of the problems that, that does exist, is that people do have that belief in themselves, which is wonderful. That's great. Don't you think there are limitations to that? There's a point at which you say, wait a minute, I mean, I don't think I should be doing that.
Yeah, a lot of people do. That limiting self-belief, and good leaders, they just encourage you and drag out your skills out of you, right? Yeah. And that's the sign of good leader. I've seen them at work. They help people rise to the occasion. So at the end of the day, right?
Well, I think I was probably stupid enough to not realise that the new position would have come with a significantly increased salary. But I decided, I said I'm not doing this. I just can't do this at all. So anyway, listen, this has been great. Ross, I am absolutely certain that we're going to be coming back to you over the next several weeks and months.
I look forward to it.
To discuss this. Robin, have you got some final words for us?
I think this has been a fascinating discussion. We could probably go on for days. And I think as a leader, it's really important to remember that life is a journey, and so is your leadership.
Right.